today I am going to share an update to my book collection. I do not have a bookcase to probably show you or to properly show you my books. And just to give you a backstory, most of my books are thrifted. These are books I've never heard of, but I like the title. I read the blip and I enjoyed it. So yeah, and the books that you do recognize or that you see they look newer, those are books that probably were gifted to me or that I had to like buy and was super expensive. Anyways, let's just jump right into the video. So the first book or the first stack of books that I have here, these are books that I keep in a box that I'll show you after I finish this haul or this collection. Is basically the books that I have read, and the first one that I have is this one. This is The Chinese Connection by Paye Lo. It's a Christian book, a very nice Christian book that I highly recommend Christians to have. The second one is a beat up one, but it was a really nice and enjoyable book. This one is The Mission by Dean Brelis. The third one you might recognize, and this is F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. This one that I keep to kind of protect that is a bit damaged. This one is Female Sexuality by Marie Bonaparte. Really good and kind of a crazy book, but interesting. This one is Planeta en Rebelión. This is just a Christian book written by the Adventist Church, I think. And it was a pretty good book. As you can see, I highly annotated it. It was quite interesting. The next one that I have is this one, Martin Cruz Smith, Red Square. This is the Arcady Arcady series. I think this is the second or the third book. I read it as a standalone and it was still pretty good. Cannot wait to collect more of those and finish reading the series. And then I have this one. This is Jeffrey Archer, A Matter of Honor. It was a okay book. Next one that I have is Michael Kimball, Green Girls. It was a good book, but the ending was a letdown. Then I have this one, A Cup for Christ by Mike DeSanza. He has a YouTube channel. You can actually find him. And it was a really good book. A lot of testimonials that made me kind of forget, but it's a very good book. This one is another Christian book. This is Missionary Heroines in Eastern Lands. It's written by various authors, so it's hard to mention all of them. Then I have these two old bad looking books. This one is, let me just open it for you guys. I think this is Bull Hill Bound. Oh, okay, this one is Arizona Stranger by Norman Fox. Very good book. It was a short cowboy book, very nice. And this one is probably Boat Hill Bound. Yep. This one is Boat Hill Bound by Frank C. Robertson. Very nice book as well. I prefer Boat Hill Bound. Then I have this pretty edition. This is George Orwell's 1984. I did not even write in my book. I just tabbed it. I already read it, and I listened to the audiobook, and I really wanted it. So yeah, I ordered it, and it was really expensive. Next one that I have is Trevor Noah's Born a Crime. Very good book, highly recommend. But it was actually gifted to me when I was in China. Then I have Madame Bovary. This one is in Portuguese, which I was not able to read because just wasn't understanding, so I had to finish it with an audiobook. Did not really like it. Then I have this one. It's an Angolan classic. This is Luanda by José Luandino Vieira. Very good book. I loved it. Then I have this one is really beat up, sorry. So I'm just going to show you the back cover. This is Time Will Darken It by William Maxwell. It's a nice, simple book. I think it's from the 1920s. Then I have this one, A Higiene da Mulher. This is basically an old book about women's hygiene written by a medical pope or pastor. He was a Catholic, I don't know what you call them, I think it's a priest. Okay, priest, yeah. And then we have this one, which is que é Lunga Afonso's Apaixonado Incorrigível. This is basically a romance with poems. It was a bad book, not gonna lie. Then we have this humongous one, one of the first 600-page books I've ever read and finished. That is not fiction, obviously. Took me forever. This is Paulo Coelho's biography written by Fernando Moraes, o Mago. Then I have this one, The Dried Flower Garden by Anne Lindsay Mitchell. This has amazing illustrations of flowers, how to take care of them, how to plant, and everything. It's just really nice. Now we're gonna go to the other book. This is me. Hello. So here I have the books that I'm currently reading. The first book that I'm currently reading, this is A Côncava de Fétis by Henrique Abranges. It's like a collection of like short stories, really nice. Then I have this one, Anthony Giddens, O Capitalismo e Moderna Teoria Social. Basically, capitalism and social modern theory. Here, this is where I keep 90% of my books. I'm sorry to be showing you from this angle. It was the only way possible to film this area. Since it's so close to my bed, it's basically impossible to film. But my books here are not really, they are somewhat organized, but not really. So let's just start. I have this thermometer. I don't even know why it's here, but it's here. Then I have this one. It's not really a book. This is just a guide to conversations from Spanish to Portuguese. Then I have this one. This is the Hardy Boys, the Viking Symbol Mystery. I think this is, okay, book 42. Then I have this one, Histórias de Dinheiro da Bíblia. This is stories of money in the Bible, or about money in the Bible. Then I have this one. This is the Premature Menopause book by Catherine Petrus. This is her. Here at the back, I don't know if you guys can see it. This one was a nice find. This one is the 100 questions and answers about the story of Spanish by Francisca Lopez Silveira, which is really, really nice. Cannot wait to get into it. Then I have this one, Bruce Feiler, I think that's how you say his name. This is Learning to Bow, basically inside the heart of Japan. It's just basically about an American guy's experience about teaching English and living in Japan. Then I have this one that is known to be like a modern classic or something by Penguin. This one is Nadine Gordimer's Burgess' daughter. This is her. She's South African, a white South African. Yeah, that's it. Then I have this one that is my next read for next month once I finish all of those books that I just showed you. This is 1961, O Ano que Mudou Portugal, João Céu e Silva. Basically, this is 1961, the year they changed Portugal. I'm excited to read that one. Most of my books are non-fiction, by the way, but most of these that you're going to see right now are fiction. Okay. This one is Anthony Horowitz, Beasts and Monsters. It's a funny retelling. I think it's for kids. And then I have this one. I think this is one of the original paperback of the BFG by Roald Dahl. I hope I pronounced it right. Then I have this one that I found at random. This is Nambangongo. It's a romance. It's like an Angolan literature book. Don't know what it's about, but I'm excited to read it. Then I have this one. This is the abridged version of 5 books. As you can see, the first one is The Dangerous Fortune by Ken Follett, The Client by John Grisham, The Statuary Pilgrim by Douglas Skaggs, The Bear by James Oliver Curwood by Reader's Digest. It's kind of a beautiful addition. I didn't really want it, but it was too pretty to pass up. Then this one that I'm slowly fixing. This one is a Signet classic. This is Buggles in the Night by Arthur Herbert. Then I have this humongous of a book. This is John Grisham's The Chamber and the Rainmaker. Basically 2 books in one. But I don't think I'm gonna be reading this book just because the font is way too small. Then I have this one. This is the La Serpiente de Oro. I think is to translate, I think it's like The Golden Serpent by Ciro Alegría. It's a Spanish book. I heard it's like a classic from Venezuela, if I'm not wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Then I have this one. This is an old Portuguese cookery book by Penguin. Then I have this one with an awesome cover. I really liked it. This one is O Imperialismo faz superior do capitalismo. Imperialism, the superior phase of capitalism. And you can see there's a face of Lenin and Karl Marx. This is The Joy of X, a guided tour of math from 1 to infinity by Stephen Shogatz. I'm really bad at math, so I'm hoping that this book will help me out. Then I have this one, Mantenha seu cerebro vivo by Lawrence C. Katz and Manning Rubin. Basically, maintain your brain alive. It's a book about how to exercise your brain in order to boost your memory and prevent memory loss. Then I have this one. This is a small book. This is A Origem da Tragédia, The Origin of Tragedy. I don't know how to say that word right. By Friedrich Nietzsche. I heard this is his like first book, I think. This is a Portuguese illustration book about finances. O meu livro de finanças by João César das Neves. This is The Joy of X, a guided tour of math from 1 to infinity by Stephen Shogatz. I'm really bad at math, so I'm hoping that this book will help me out. Then I have this one, Mantenha seu cerebro vivo by Lawrence C. Katz and Manning Rubin. Basically, maintain your brain alive. It's a book about how to exercise your brain in order to boost your memory and prevent memory loss. Then I have this one. This is a small book. This is A Origem da Tragédia, The Origin of Tragedy. I don't know how to say that word right. By Friedrich Nietzsche. I heard this is his like first book, I think. This is a Portuguese illustration book about finances. O meu livro de finanças by João César das Neves. I don't know why this is here, but this is a dictionary from Roman to English. Then I have this on Light by A.E.E. Mackenzie. It's basically a book about how to use the microscope. Let me take that out. Then I have this one. This is Selections or Seleções. It's basically like a book, basically magazine pages from 1963. Everything that was happening in that was published in magazines in 1963. Everything compiled in this book. by readers. Then I have this one. This is a tie-dye boutique and candles. Basically how to like DIY, how to do it at home. Which is Atlas Básico de Fósseis e Minerais. Basically this is the atlas of fossils and minerals. It's just a basic one. Atlas de Nova Vida, da Bíblia, a história do cristianismo. Basically, this is Atlas of New Life. It's an atlas about the Bible and the history of Christianism. Now, let's get into my favorite parts, or at least some of my favorite books. So now I'm gonna scoot you guys a little bit forward. So all the way from here to here, let me just lower you guys a little bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna start from right to left. Okay, the first book that I have here is Antes de Moncada. This is the book about the youth of Fidel Castro. I started reading it, but then I noticed that my Spanish is not that good, so I'm practicing a little bit more to be able to read it. And then I have this one, Patterns of Culture by Ruth Benedict. Look at the cover, so pretty. It's basically like I think anthropology book about some Colombian civilizations. Cannot wait to read that one. Then I have this one, Eli Beznev. Basically, this is the collection of speeches of Brezhnev. In Portuguese, this is Mikhail Gorbachev. I hope I'm saying it right. Basically, years of transformation of hope by for the URSS and for the world. But let me say in Portuguese. Anos de transformação de esperança para a URSS e para o mundo. This is the back part. So the section of like history books, biographies from my country. This is like this, but if you flip it around here, on the side you can see what it says. It says pela Unidade Nacional, Paz e Progresso Social, for the national unity, peace and social progression. Basically, just let me show you. It just basically talks about some things that happened in 1972 in my country. Then I have this one. This is Memories, 1974 até 1976, 1974 until 1976. Basically, this is what happened, like basically our basic history of I think the Civil War. I have yet to read it. This one is a bit big of a book. Not that big, but it's big for, at least for non-fiction. This is basically Memórias de Guerrilheiro. Memories of a Soldier by Alcides Sakala. Basically, this is the last years of Civil War in Angola. I kind of like the cover though. I have this one again, Memórias. This is Memories by Dino Matrosi. I don't know exactly who he is, but he's pretty famous. I have this one. This is just a short book about UNITA. It's one of our political parties. So yeah, beat it up, but it was a nice find. This is Maria Eugenia Neto's. This is letters from Maria Eugenia to Agostinho Neto. This is the wife of the first president of Angola, Agostinho Neto. Basically, this is like a book. Is basically a compilation of letters while they were separated. Encyclopedia from Portugal. It's really old. This one is Novo Tesouro da Juventude. I kind of like the cover. The books are falling. Sorry about that, the shakiness. Then I have this one, Novo Tesouro da Juventude. Okay, then this one is Neville in Washington. Or Reveal in Washington, I don't remember. sorry, this is the 8060 to 8065. I think this is what was happening. Oh, here you go. Yes, reveal in Washington from 8060 to 8065. This one I'm really excited to read. This is the Swedish history in outline, basically just an outline of the Swedish history. Look how small it is. But I really like the cover. It's so pretty. Then I have this one, probably the most excited history book that I have. This is Angola in the Front Line by Michael Wolfers and Jane Bergero. I hope I said it right. The only book of the history of my country that I have in actual in English, and it's really old. This really cute one. This one is the science library. This hardcover with no dust jacket. This is the career and legend of Vasco da Gama. This one, Fontes e Estudos. Basically, this is just like a compilation of like historic archives from my country. The heroic leadership by Chris Loney. I know this book is pretty famous, so I was really excited to get it. Cannot wait to read that one. This one I'm also really excited to read. This is From Third World to Third by Lee Kuan Yew. I think this is the book about, oh, here it is, about Singapore and the Asian economic boom. Now we're in the Christian section. Here you go, like this. The first one that I have, this is Jungle Pilot by Russell T. Hitt. I watched a lot of documentaries on it, but I never read about it. This one was a really nice find. This is Hansi, Captive of the Swatika. The title's a bit changed now. I don't really remember what's the new title. There's also like a comic book version of this, so it's really nice. This is by Maria N. Herchman. Then I have this one, which is Histórias de Amor da Bíblia, Stories of Love in the Bible. Then I have this one that I'm really excited to read. This is Richard Wurmbrand, Torture for Christ. Look at the cover. I kind of love it. Then I have these two short books. This is The Study of Genesis, O Estudo sobre Gênesis by R.A. Harlow. Then I have this one, É Possível Encontrar a Deus, Is It Possible to Find God by David Watson. Good books. This is Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. I've listened to the audiobook years ago and I don't remember what it is, so I cannot wait to read this. And I have this one, Don't Waste Your Life by John Piper. Here I have Jesus the King by Timothy Keller. Look at that book. Nice. And this one that I had to order and it was super expensive, but unfortunately I got from an edition I did not want. I wanted a penguin, but I got it from this edition is Dover Thrift Editions. This is The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. This is basically like one of the most famous classic Christian book ever. I'm not mad at the cover, I just didn't want this one because of the quality of the edition. Then I have this one, The Power of a Praying Teen by Stormy Martian, I'm not sure. Then I have this one that still has the sticker of the price tag on it. This is The Complete Book of the Bible Knowledge. It's really nice because it also has quizzes and everything. And Como Vencer em Tempos Estáveis, How to Win During Unstable Times by Miguel Angelo. They have this one. I'm really excited for this one. This is The Portrait, the Person of Christ as found in Psalms 1 to 41. Then I have this one, The Expedition by Per Olof Sandman. Kind of like the cover even though it's old. Then a book you guys may recognize. This is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I hope I said it right. A friend gave it to me when I was in China as well. Thank you, Eva. Then I have this one, Andy McNabb's Dark Winter. It's the only thrifty book that I have like that the spine wasn't how do you say, creased, I think. Then I have this one. This was a lucky find. This is La Sarraise, The Midnight Manager. You may recognize the TV show. So yeah, I want to read the book first and then watch the show or the series. It's Hugh Laurie's in it, the guy from House MD. So I highly recommend you guys watch it. Then this one was a recent one that I bought. This is The Marriage Market by Nisha Mias. It's like an Indian romance book. Then I have this one, O Mundo em que Vivi, the world that I lived in by Elise Lousa. I heard it's like a classic Portuguese book, but I'm not too sure about that. This is Ken Follett's Los Pilares de la Tierra, The Pillars of the Earth. It's a really famous book, but this one is in Spanish and it's a special edition. This one, this one is Alone in Berlin by Hans Fallada. This ripped cover one. This is The Great Indian Novel by Shashi Tharoor. Over here, so this one is Antonio Quino, Duas Faces da Esperança, Two Faces of Hope. Basically, it's a compilation and study of poems written by the first president of Angola. And then this one I have influences of neo realism and Negro poetry or something. Influências de neorrealismo e da negritude na poesia de Agostinho Neto, also written by our first president. Then this is probably one of the Angolan classics that I'm really looking into reading. This is Mayombe by Pepetela. My mom used to actually live next to this forest of Mayombe. The next one that I have is Castro Soromenho, Terra Morta. Now I'm gonna show you all of my medical books. Okay, so now we are in a new angle. This is above my desk. So here, this is my Christian shelf, and I'll be showing you. This is just a racket pencil sharpener. This is a eraser. I have my glasses and a picture that I'm just gonna leave it there. Okay, so this book that I have over here, this is, as you can see, oops, sorry about the lighting. This is The Existence and Attributes of God by Stephen Charnock. I only have volume 1. Currently looking for volume 2 to complete it. It's really, really nice. As a Christian, I highly recommend. This one is the Ryrie Study Bible, the NSB version. I actually wanted the King James version. Here I have, this is my current Bible that I use to like study the Bible. As you can see, it's filled with page flags. It's just an old one that I thrifted, but the font is so big that I don't have to like use my reading glasses. As you can see, really nice. Then I have this one, the Lion Handbook to the Bible. This is my mom's Bible. My mom bought it. She passed it on to my sister. My sister passed it on to me. It's a woman's Bible in Portuguese. Then I have this one that I thrifted as well. This is just a small NSB Bible, and I only got it because of these stickers right here. Just like this small, nice. I usually carried it to go to church, This one is one of like a really good Christian book that I read, that I actually keep it here because I like to reference it a lot. This is 31 Secrets of an Unforgettable Woman. It's basically a series for women, but based on the book of Ruth in the Bible. Let me just say in Portuguese, 31 Segredos de uma Mulher Inesquecível by Mike Murdoch. It's a really good book, highly recommend. I think there's also one for Esther and such. This one is the Bible Encyclopedia and Concordance. I have yet to use it, but I'm glad that I have it. This is just like a small Bible. It's basically like compilation of books from the Bible that you can use to like preach the gospel. And then this is like the methods to use to preach the gospel. My sister gave that to me. This is just a notebook. And then here I have the Good News Bible, the Good News for Modern Men. I like this Bible when I got it. It's so wrecked that I wouldn't get it, but I got it because I like the illustrations. They're so simple, but look, it's in book form. And I don't know why, but I really like reading the New Testament in this book. And this is just a small Bible as well. I'm not gonna show you because it looks really bad. So here I just have I have this rhino over here gifted to me, and here I have my most expensive books I've ever thrifted. This is book 1, volume 1 to volume 7, the Siba collection of medical illustrations. This is the the endocrine system and selected metabolic disease, the nervous system, the heart, kidneys and uterus and urinary bladder, digestive system 1, 2, and 3. They're really pretty illustrations that I have videos on it if you guys want to check it out. Basically, I don't even know how to say it in Spanish, but basically this is like a semiology book. This is like the volume 2. This is the 2010 edition. It's the second volume as well, but this is like the 90s edition. So during COVID, when I couldn't go into the lab and like study anatomy with like the actual pieces and stuff, I used this magazine to like study. Really nice. Here I have these dried flowers in this container. Then I have Ian Kershaw's Hitler. It's a really big book. I read it like halfway in India, and after now I'm trying to get back at it. This is like everyday mile. This is where like I tab, like I have to read like I think 44 pages a day, which is doable. It will take me like 2 weeks to read. Then I have this one, A Woman and the Liberator. To the last one over here. Okay, here we go. Here in this corner, ignore. This is where I have all of my Chinese books and Chinese medical books as well. I just have this one I bought from Dukan. Let's start with my favorite. This is Sexually Transmitted Diseases, a handbook's companion. It's a really nice book, and it has like really weird like gruesome images that I'm not gonna show obviously, but it's a really nice book that you can carry with you, and you can just like study sexually transmitted diseases. Okay, so this one, the next one that I have is the manual of like surgery nursing. I think that's how you say it. I don't know how to pronounce the other word, but I'll just say it in Portuguese. O Manual da Cirurgia. Temas de Anatomia Dental. This is basically a book about the anatomy, the dental anatomy by Rafael Pardo. This one's actually in Spanish, and he has some nice basic illustrations. It's a new one, cannot wait to read. Then I have this one. This is Physiologia Compendium, or Compendio de Fisiologia, by Neil R. Borley and Vinod Arkan. They're selling this at a university. I studied at the University of Jean Piaget. Then I have this one that I really like. This one is all about intensive care in Angola. It was basically like a small book that the one of the national hospitals here wrote. So I was really glad that I actually got it. Then this one is the textbook of immunology. I have this one, Atlas of the Human Body. It's just a basic atlas, but really nice illustrations. One of my favorite books from this shelf. This is Anatomia Humana. This is the first volume. It's a Spanish anatomy book. Oh, so nice. I love it. I also have this one in Spanish. This is Tratado de Ginecología de Enfermedades del Aparato Genital Femenino. I have this really beat up one. This is Clinical Anesthesia Respiratory Therapy. This is like the 5th book in the series. Then I have this one. This is Manual de Gravidez Semana a Semana, the Manual of Pregnancy week by week. It does actually say from who. Weird. Then I have this on the Physiology of the Kidney and Body Fluids by Robert F. Pitts. It's a bit outdated, but it still has really good info. And this one that I will not be able to move because it's kind of stuck there. I'll take it when I actually want to read it. This is Exploración Semiológica del Fondo Ocular y del Ojo y sus Anexos. Basically, this is just a book about exploration of the ocular system and its annexes. So you guys, I forgot to show you 2 more books that I have lying around. These are like my bus books. So this really ugly, messed up, beat up one was quite interesting to read, but kind of a letdown. This is No Highway by Neville Shute. I finished it like 2 days ago, and this is my current bus book. This is a book that I only read when I'm not at home. This is A Time to Kill by John Grisham. There's also a movie with Matthew McConaughey and Samuel Jackson. Highly recommend you watch the movie and read the book. I'm that much into it. So that is about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this book collection tour. And yeah, that is everything. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.